Well, a giant inflatable colon is not something you get to see every day, but Cornwall residents had a chance to get up close and personal with just such a thing at the Cornwall Square this past weekend. I had a chance to take the tour as well as speak about colorectal health. Joining me is Dr. Ala Roston. Thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you very much.
Right, so we're here for the Great Colon Tour. Can you tell me a little bit about what it is?
Well, we're using this opportunity to promote colon cancer awareness as well as colon cancer screening. As you know, colon cancer is actually quite common. It's the third cancer overall in terms of being common, and it's the second leading cause of cancer death in both men and women. It's important to know that this cancer affects men and women almost equally, so it's a disease of both men and women, and it can be silent until it develops into an advanced stage. So the important thing for us is to screen for it before it gets into a big cancer.
Absolutely. Now, this is a great juxtaposition because this is a very obvious display, and yet colon cancer really is a secret or silent killer.
Absolutely. You know, when polyps first develop, they cause no symptoms whatsoever, and yet they could start harboring an early cancer in them. So what we want to do is we want to use a test, either a stool test that detects blood, or something like a flexible sigmoidoscopy or even colonoscopy later on, to detect it at the polyp stage so that we can remove it and it won't even develop into colon cancer. But even if we have a detected cancer, we're detecting it at a much earlier stage than when it would be when symptoms develop. And that's really what we want.
Now, you mentioned that it affects both men and women equally. What age should you start thinking about getting this test done?
So it's slightly more common in men than women, but I would like to promote that it affects us basically equally. Clinically, we don't really see the distinction too much. So it's important that women don't think this is just a disease of men. So if you have no family history of colon cancer, in other words, you're considered average risk for colon cancer, you should start screening at age 50. And the Cancer Care Ontario recommends that we start screening with a fecal occult blood test, which is one of these simple tests that you can get from your family doctor. And basically you just apply a little sample of stool on it and it detects whether there's blood or not. That simple test allows us to move up to a colonoscopy if this test is positive. Also, there is the availability of flexible sigmoidoscopy, which is a test that does not require a major bowel preparation or anything, and looks at the bottom end of the colon. Also, this does not require you to miss a day off work or to have sedation or anything like that. Cancer Care Ontario promotes that test as well for average risk screening. There is another group of people, though, that have a family history of colon cancer. Now, this is a smaller group in that 75% or more of people that develop colon cancer actually have no family history. It just develops in an individual just like that. But if you have a family history, it's important to start screening with colonoscopy right away at age 40 or 10 years before the family member developed colon cancer.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk a little bit about the display itself and what people are seeing inside.
Well, what this is trying to show us is it's a mock-up of what the inside of a colon looks like. And it's showing the inside lining of the colon, and it shows common things that people may have heard about, like what a hemorrhoid looks like, or what an early polyp looks like, or what a more advanced polyp looks like, and finally what colon cancer might look like inside the bowel when we are doing colonoscopy.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you once again for joining me, and the message is clear: get checked, be cancer-free.
Thank you very much.